Hello YouTube. Hope that however you're spending today that this finds you well, and many blessings. Anyway, today I'm remodeling a utility room, and I'm working on the floor. I'm going to install some rubber interlocking tiles. So I thought I'd share that with you, how the process behind how it's installed a little bit. Whether you want to remodel a garage or utility room, a playroom for your kids or whatever. This might give you a little bit of ideas. That's the intention of this video. Anyway, for my project, I'm going to be using you'll need a utility knife, and it'll probably help if you have a straight edge as well. But anyway, without further ado, I guess I'll go ahead and get started, and hope you enjoy the video. Okay, so here's the utility room I'm working on, and the pavers are, here's a couple of pavers right here I took out of the box, and they're really easy to install. You just snap them together and do that across the whole floor. But they're a little bit more expensive than linoleum and vinyl flooring. But if you're doing a small space like this, then it's a decent route to go, I'd say. Anyway, I'll come back to you when I start installing and explain a little bit about like how to put these in corners and stuff like that. So the first piece that I lay is a corner, usually, and how I make that is I just take I'll demonstrate here. I take my straight edge, like so, and then I take the utility knife and cut these little, cut the ends off, and I do that on two sides, and that's how I start off by starting a corner and work from there. We're making good progress, as you can see. I just want to show you when you get to like edges and corners, things like that. You just take your straight edge, like so, and you just squirt straight down the line there a few times, and it should cut for you. Installing these rubber tiles around corners and things like that is pretty self-explanatory. However, when you're going around pipes, it gets a little bit more complicated. I'll go ahead and explain this to you. First off, you can get some cardboard or newspaper and just kind of trace out around the pipes that you're going. Newspaper would probably be easier because it's easier to cut. And then what I do is I just outline, just kind of outline with a marker or trace, so that way I could use this kind of like a template to trace the other tile here. But yeah, anyway, I just trace it all the way around till I get to here. After you finish tracing with a marker, now what I'm going to do is cut from here to here, so that way I can take this template or this piece of paper out and actually trace the outline on the tile. So I'm going to take the scissor here and oh, there we go, get on camera, and then I'm just going to cut and then I'll cut this, and there we go. I took the paper template out of the area that I was working on, and make sure to keep it in the same position because you don't want to get all switched around. But then after that, I put the new tile on top of that template, and I finished tracing all the way around the other side. And then, as you can see, there's a little bit, here it is, there's a little bit of the rubber sticking past the paper, so I just mark it, and you can trim off the tabs a little bit like that. Throughout the job, you'll accumulate these little tabs from scrap pieces that you have, and you only do this along the corner, or out along the edges, I mean. But you take these little tabs, you just pop them into place, and then you just trim them so that they're even with the rest of the tile. Now that I have my outline finished, I can take the measurements from the edge of my template to figure out where I need to cut my holes. And that's where a template is helpful, because it prevents you from working blind. You know, it gives you a little guide. This one at the top here, I probably don't have to measure, because I can it's so close to the edge, I can just kind of eyeball it. But this one, I'll show you how I take the measurement. Okay, first things first. You mark 4 little dots in each corner. And right there. And then, after you mark the 4 little dots, you take your tape measure, handy little tape measure, and let me open it up here. Use the edge. Start from the edge, and from each little dot here, you just measure from the edge how far in it is. And it looks like it's 4 3/4. We'll take it from the edge and measure into this first dot. Also, it's 4 3/4. So, when you're transferring to your template, you want to make sure that it's 4 3/4. Okay. And then you take your tape measure again, and I just picked 2 tabs on the because the tabs are pretty easy to reference, but I just picked 2 tabs, and then I take my tape measure and kind of line up the 2 side dots right here with the end of the tape measure, and then that looks like it's 6 5/8 and 8 5/8, and so kind of line it up, and at the top of the tab here, I just draw a straight little line, and that way, when I put this template, or put this tile back on the template, then I know how far over my holes are going to be. And I just do the same thing on this side. Now I'm ready to transfer the measurements to my tile. Okay, so you saw the little lines that I drew on the template, and so I took a straight edge, which was also a ruler, and kind of line it up with that mark. I'm going to take I'm going to take my tape measure, and I'm going to go down to 5 3/8, which is right about there. Okay, and I'm going to use this because if you remember, I said it has to be 4 3/4 inch from the edge, and so just kind of take this tape measure to make sure it's you know, on the proper space or distance away, and I just kind of use it as to line up my point. Once you have all your dots transferred to your tile, then you just take your straight edge, and then you connect the dot with your marker, and then you can have lines on which you can use your utility blade to score the score the hole. It's turned out nice, you know. Got the, even with the template, and got this hole right here. And you know, it's pretty good. Not, not perfect, but good enough for government work, as they say. Anyway, one last step, and I promise we're done with this video. If you noticed, I had to cut with the scissors a little piece, and so now I just kind of cut from this hole to this hole. That way I can fit my rubber tile in that hole. I'll show you how it goes, and we'll see if it fits. Alright, let's test our workout here. Got it all cut and everything. I cut between the two holes there. So we're gonna pop it into place here and see how it looks. Okay, it's going in nicely. Kind of feel like I'm in kindergarten playing with all these, or popping all these. It's like working with a puzzle. Okay, there we go. Oh yeah, that's a beauty. Let's see, pop these little tabs in here. And this last one right here. Wow, turned out real nice. And that's how you work around pipes and that sort of thing. But anyway, good luck if you decide to work on this project and or a project like this. And all the best. God bless.